If you've ever felt like the third wheel, this podcast is for you.
If you love Wheel of Time, this podcast is for you.
If you're bored and have nothing better to do, this podcast is for you.
Join Rob,
Megan,
And Jen,
in celebrating the Wheel of Time
and its statistically best fandom,
and ridiculous gaming skills,
and probably a few cocktails.
and find out which one of them will be the third wheel this time.
This is
three-wheeling.
Hey.
hello!
Hello.
Yay.
Do love that
Hello.
intro.
It's so fun.
That's the traditional start where we lament over how much we love our intro.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to a very late Dusty plus 10 start time of freewheeling.
It's because we took a week off because we recorded a week early. And so,
We did.
and it's the new year. It's our first official podcast of the new year.
This is
Yeah,
our
of
first
2021.
recording
Our
of
first recording. Yeah.
Recording.
Our first recording of the new year. Yes, it's
Yes.
not our
Yes.
first actual release because our last recording came live. And we have someone who turned up on time, unlike the rest of us. Doris, my grandma. Thank you. You're in the
Hi.
audience watching.
Thanks, Beth. And in case she listens on the far end, Sherry Sedai did try to join, but technical difficulties on her end. So.
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. We're trying to tinker this like Riverside while it's good for us, and it gives me a lot of flexibility with editing and stuff like that. Has been a little tinkering for people to actually be able to listen to us live. I feel like it needs an app or something to listen to. At least when I try to on my phone to test things. So for those who have been trying, there's that. But also we wanted to help those who couldn't figure it out or couldn't like get there or aren't tech savvy or any of those, for whatever reason it might be. And so like we've now figured out how we can stream it into Discord as well. So we'll be starting that. Well, I'll say starting that next time. We'll start that this time. It's running right now. And you know, we'll see if anyone. I'm gonna have the channel up on my other screen to see if anyone turns up there. So, but yeah, we're back.
Yay.
First one of 2025. It's been an interesting start to the year so far. It's been rough.
For some of us more than others. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend who posted a meme that said, "I have tried." This was on the 7th. Said, "I have tried the 7-day trial of 2025, and I would not like to subscribe, and I would like my money back, please." And that's pretty accurate.
I saw a great meme about the Matrix, which made me laugh because I'd been watching the Matrix a while ago, and it's just Agent Smith, okay, from the first movie, like when he's cracking his neck in the subway, if you're familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it says 1999 was described as being the peak of human civilization in the Matrix, and I laughed because that obviously wouldn't age well. And then the next 25 years happened, and I realized that yeah, maybe the machines had a point.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I need to save that. That's funny.
It's accurate. It's accurate. The peak of or that we've all been living in the Matrix since 1999, which is, I don't know. Maybe that makes me feel better about the world.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
There's a lot to go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see your faces.
Yeah, it's
It's
good to see you.
your face.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's been some Wheel of Time stuff happening,
A little bit.
so we'll get
Little
into
bit.
that. But shall we start with
What's
Meg
Meg
drinking?
drinking?
So I would like to thank Dana Lou Zool for this idea. So she was like, you need to come up with a purple Ajah cocktail with lavender. And so yesterday I was driving home from the auto show and I was like, oh, I don't have a cocktail for tomorrow. And I was like, oh yeah, Dana said something about the purple Ajah. So here we go. So do you know what the purple Ajah is? Do you both know that reference or no?
I get
Yes.
it. Yes.
Okay, so I'll
But why don't
explain
you
it.
share it for the audience?
Yes, I'll
Yes.
explain it here, but when I post it on all the socials, I'm not going to get super into it because it is kind of spoilery. So,
Just put, if you want to know what the purple Ajah is, listen to the episode.
yes. Cool. Yeah, so I just, like, so my inspiration, like what I'm going to write on the social media is from theories in the Theoryland and Wotmania days, if you know, you know. So, back in the day when we weren't sure of Varen's allegiance, because we knew that either she lied or Moraine lied in The Great Hunt, there was this whole theory that she was like not like a dark friend, but that maybe she was a light friend and that allowed her to lie, and that, you know, there's the black Ajah for dark friends, maybe it's the purple Ajah for light friends. So right? Am I right in that description? Is
I
that
think you're right, and I completely I forgot about that and had another thing
I
in my head. Go
also
on.
forgot about that. I thought the purple Ajah was
The LGBTQ Aja.
yes, and also the therapy Ajah.
But didn't we call it the purple Aja back in the day for
No,
Wotmania
you are
and
right.
Theoryland
I think
too?
you are 100% right, Meg.
I was not around in those days in terms
Okay.
of those spaces, but I have heard that that's what it was.
Yes.
So make of it what you will, then, I guess.
Yes, yeah, there we go, folks. Yeah, purple it however you like.
So anyway, for the recipe, it's in a shaker with ice. You're pouring 2 ounces of Empress 1908 Indigo Gin, so that's the purple gin, and then half an ounce of elderflower liqueur, 1 ounce of lemon juice, half an ounce of lavender simple syrup. Shake and strain into a Tom's Collins glass with fresh ice. Then pour soda water on and then stir gently. And I did do some purple sparkles too. So cheers.
Naturally.
And if you have a
Cheers.
lavender sprig, I would choose to garnish with that, but I do not. So I just did a lemon peel. So
That's fair.
Wait, I forgot to take a picture of it. Dang it.
You
I
didn't
gotta
take a picture of it?
fish
Aw.
out my
Well,
thing.
while you sort out the cocktail so you can take a photo of it, did you record making it at least?
I did record making it, but I forgot to
Okay,
take
good.
a picture. Yes.
Well, while you do that, I just want to appreciate how Meg always comes up with these cocktails, and it's always a specific type of alcohol, not just like a purple
yeah.
gin. It's
Yeah.
like this specific brand of gin. Like
Because
we
this
don't have a
podcast is brought to you by Empress Gin.
It's not.
I do use a
It's
lot of
really-
Empress, actually.
You do, actually.
Oh
It's true.
my god! I mean, like, if an alcohol
I
company
feel-
wants to sponsor us, one that we like,
Please.
I'm not just taking anybody. All right, we're going to be a
Yeah.
little picky.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, but if a good, wholesome, quality alcohol company
Mm-hmm.
wants to sponsor us, we will absolutely take that.
Yes.
Purple is our color too. I mean, purple is our
That's
three-wheeling
true.
color. So I feel
Mhm.
like
This is true.
maybe this is our signature drink.
Yeah, this might
Maggie,
have
will
to
you
be-
make wait,
What?
wait, Dad, wait, Mom's not listening, right?
Uh,
Will you make this for me? Will you make this for me next weekend, Meg?
Yes.
Rob, I'm flying to Michigan on Thursday to surprise my dad for his 80th birthday.
Oh my god, I love that. That's so awesome.
Yes, which is why I was like, wait, is Dad listening? So, Dad, if you're listening, sorry.
But also, if you're
Which I
flying on
almost spoiled
Thursday
then.
and this episode
Mhm.
comes out on Wednesday, maybe we should make sure they don't listen straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Now that
maybe I cut that out and that
Spoiler.
bit just sits there as a freebie for Beth.
There we go. Yes, yes.
Amazing.
You really can cut it out. It's not really podcast worthy relevance, but you know, when do I
I'm-
filter?
I'm honestly just really enjoying watching Meg here trying to take photos, like turning lights on and off and stuff.
I was getting shadows. And it was just...
Shadows and things. This is amazing. This is the level of detail. This is why Meg is our social person.
I
You
know.
why she's our
I
social
know.
sleuth.
And why I don't know what's going on in the social world at all because I leave it all to Meg.
Oh, amazing. I love it. I love it. But yeah, if what was the brand again of alcohol? I forget. Was it Pontoon? I don't know
Empress.
why.
Empress.
Empress. I have no idea where I got Pontoon from.
I
Empress.
like pontoon.
Ooh,
Oh
jeez.
my god, that went bright.
Is that the lamp I got you? It
Yes.
is.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
yeah, does it not come
Empress.
with a setting? Because mine's very powerful as
Well,
well. If I turn
yeah,
up.
I can adjust it, but
Oh, you're adjusting
It looks great, by
colours.
the way, Meg. You look
It does.
fantastic.
you
Yes.
can't read the label at all.
That's
But
because
anyway.
there's so much light. Do you not have? Like, I have like
Yeah,
a.
you can
a-
dim it back.
It's not gonna.
I
Yeah, I have a
did.
dimmer. Yeah. So.
Well,
which
you
one's
can
it?
do just like more filtered. Oh, there is a
See,
dimmer.
look. See, I can turn mine up and
I
down.
missed that part.
Yeah. So I just have mine like on like half power.
Oh,
There
that's
you
life.
go.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my god! I swear half of our recording is just laughing at each other.
I know. I know. I love that this was my Christmas gift to Megan, and in fact, my husband David was like, "Could you please get her a light for Christmas?" Because he's like, I can never see her on the podcast. But you did choose it yourself, so I assumed you
I
knew it
did.
had settings. Like,
I did, and then I
dimming.
just forgot. So it's
Like, in fact, I think I've left mine too bright now. I've done that because I messed with the colours.
Anyway,
yeah, there
it's
we go.
quite
That's the
delicious. So
Nice.
excellent. Thank you.
There's our new signature purple cocktail. I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
That's good. All right, social sleuth, are you ready?
yeah. I mean, so there wasn't much like like outside the socials other than like the main news. So
I love this, by the way. We should get titles for each of us. Like Meg now is officially the social sleuth. I like that.
Oh.
I like social sleuth. Didn't
Yeah.
we used to call her the social? I don't know. I had
Media
some bad name. Mean
word.
Yes, yeah. We did say that.
because we don't swear on this podcast.
No, we fucking don't.
Spell
No,
out.
but we bleeped it out all the time. I don't.
Oh,
we,
you're right,
did.
actually.
We did
Yeah.
always bleep it. Yeah.
We did.
We haven't done that for a long
That's
time.
true. But no, I like social sleuth. Social sleuth is really
Yes.
good. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I
Okay,
like that.
so we got 5 new cast members announced.
I'm gonna enjoy this while you sit there and try and pronounce all their names.
Okay.
I've done this twice this week.
Isabella Bucchieri is
Ooh.
Baile Batire.
Ooh, with the handsome ocean and everything.
Nukaka Custer-Waldau is Bear, and she's married to Jaime Lannister. Salome Gunnisdottir is Melaine. Bjorn Landberg is Ruark. And Sinove Makodi Lund is Melindra. So that's my
Is
best
Melaine-
attempt.
Is Melaine Icelandic?
Greenlandic, I think.
Gunnar's
Greenlandic.
daughter. So I
I mean,
know.
if it's Daltor,
Yeah.
it's either Greenland or Iceland, one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was Danish Greenlandic. Or
Got it.
Greenlandic Danish, something of that nature.
Thank you.
Oh, well, actually, it makes no difference because Greenland is a part of Denmark, so like its own. Yeah. This was a week kind of catered towards Threefold Talk.
A
Mm-hmm.
little bit.
A little bit. 4
Little
out of the
bit.
5 are Aiel. And then on top of that, we got Melindra, who is apparently a Malkiri refugee.
I love how so here's the thing though. We bent ourselves into knots. We twisted ourselves into like knots and pretzels to explain Galad being the younger brother and all of the stuff that was wrong. Now, I know that this is not an incorrect. You can't come up with that much stuff and be wrong in terms of the press release about this. But I'm like, I feel like I've spent my let me figure out why or how money
Because of
already.
the mistake previously.
Yeah. I'm like, I did it. I came up with a great reason. I had all the reasons why that they decided to do that for story reasons. And now I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I don't care. I'm out.
Well,
Well,
Wow.
you said you had
Surprise me in
thoughts.
March.
What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts were about Luke and Ism. Like my thoughts are that we talked before about Luke and Ism being combined, gone, not there. We don't have if we remove Ism from the scenario and we don't have him as a Malkieri. My first thoughts actually were about the people with the sawed off teeth. I don't know why. That was my first thought. But
the
that's nothing.
the Red Veil Aiel.
Yeah. But in any case, I was like, oh, if she's Ism,
Mhm.
Isam, if she is the last, like she is a Malkieri refugee, is she Lan's little sister? Is she Lan's cousin who also wanted the throne, like Isam? So who is she as a refugee from Malkier? We already know that, assuming Melindra is black or a dark friend rather, or bad, that it gives us it makes her character far more interesting because it's like I'm just a rando dark friend, blah blah, and then she's done. And so this would like give her that role to potentially stick around a little longer and to show us that Aiel can also be bad from the early get-go. But like, I don't know. And also it also makes Tigraine less of an anomaly.
It does. That's quite true.
I think it sets us up to consider that Tigraine is special, but not a one-off. I don't know. I just think I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Yeah, for me, after I'd finished teasing Mel that she was now a Wetlander, which was I was just like, this is fun for me. Mel is now officially canonically my cousin, and she's also a Wetlander. I'm not the token one anymore. And Mel's like, no, I'm a Shido, leave me alone. Whilst also enjoying everything.
Also,
but-
she's not Shido.
Yeah, she's Tardad.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. She's like, no, I'm still Shido. I'm still really. And I was like, well, now you're a Malkiri refugee. So initially, I was just like, yeah, this doesn't make Tigraine a solo thing anymore, because they've taken in refugees. I also floated the idea of some kind of like Malkiri exchange program well, not necessarily an exchange program, but like a training program or something. Be like, send off your kids to the IEL if they want to, type thing. I don't know. I thought that was quite, a fun possibility. Likely possibility? No. Fun possibility? Yes.
But that
Summer
works
camp.
though because Lan knows so much about the Aiel, and it's played off in the books like, well, I fought them in the Aiel War, so I know some stuff. But then we know that Malkieri has close ties to it, and so
Yeah.
and we know that the Aiel send their men who can channel into the Blight. So Malkieri back in the day would have known more about the Aiel just because of that. And I feel like I'm rereading Shadow Rising, and I just read the section where where they're standing there in front of the Wise Ones. And Lan leans down and he's like whispering into Maureen's ears, and he's whispering to Maureen and Egwene about like Aiel culture, and Maureen gives him a look like the fuck. I'm sorry, are we not swearing? I'm just
We
No,
always
you're,
swear.
you can swear, yeah.
okay. Anyway, she gives him the look. She gives him the look, and he says, I know a little bit about the Aiel," and she was like, "A little more than I realized, and I will remedy that." Like, I want to know what you know, basically. And it's anyway, so just like it's in the books. The foundation for the Malkier Aiel connection is in the books already.
All right. So we have a training school. I like this, But
I think it's
the people went a lot on the whole Melindra is now Slayer sort of path. So it's just to really streamline the concept.
And obviously, I'm showing my ignorance for not having watched Threefold Talk this week.
No,
As
you're
I'm
fine.
like, oh, I have
No,
a good idea.
People were talking about that the whole way. Like everyone was mentioning it left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Like, have we now eliminated, Slayer, and is Melindra now Lan's cousin or sister or something of that nature? And I'm here being like, well, this kind of ruins my Padden Fane is Slayer motive a little, like idea a little bit, because Slayer is Luke and all that sort of tied into one, isn't he? So I don't know. I don't want Melindra to be Slayer, because then also, yeah, the Padden Fane thing doesn't work. But
You're gonna die on that hill.
I am dying on that hill. Okay,
I
look.
was gonna say gonna actually actively. We're watching it happen. in
Yeah,
real
you're
time.
watching it happening, folks. But like, or listening to it happening. But for me, like, I'm sorry, there's a conspiracy. First off, Rafe. First off, I joke on April Fool's Day and catching multiple people with the whole Shore is now a lighter thing, and that becomes true. On the KCI stream that I do with Kev, like there's multiple streams that we've done. When we did LAN, Mel turned up as a Malkiri, and now we have Melindra, who is a Malkiri. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm clearly just building up to a big crescendo where I'd be like, aha, my giant idea was right.
I've been the showrunner the whole time.
Yes, I am the tweeter of chaos.
Are you a truth? Are you a truth seer? Wait, what? Doomseer? Are you a doomseer?
Doomseer?
Yeah.
Doomseer? I mean, I don't
I
know.
kinda think-
Depends on the day of the week. Sometimes I see a lot of doom.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
So ask me how my day at work is going first. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a connection from Malkir to the Aiel. I don't think it's going all the way to replacing Slayer. I think that's.
I do. All right,
You do?
Megan, where are you in this wheel?
Oh crap! Now I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, I'm the third wheel then.
That's fine. It's
I'm the
a
theory
gut thing
third
for
wheel.
me. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think it's it works only if you're a show watcher. It's too strange and out there if you are a book reader watching the show to not be obvious and standing out.
I'm starting to watch the show with those eyes. I have a revelation based on watching 203 and 4 that something that has like sat a little funny with me, and I've been trying to like wrap my head around it since I watched 204. And in this last watch right before the podcast, I was like, oh my god, I get it, and it's really obvious, and I'm embarrassed that I didn't get it. But it's a book show question.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, was there any other big news or social thing that we
I
want to chat about?
Think so. Or
No.
unless I'm not thinking of something. But no.
There was a lot of speculation that the writing team had run off to Japan together.
Oh yeah, there was that. Yeah.
That was quite fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not in
Um,
Japan. I just want to point out I'm here in LA.
Yeah, Jen is not in Japan, folks. So
I'm
clearly
not
the writing
in
team did
Japan.
not go to Japan. That was let's just put it out there. Hire Jen, okay? We will do the podcast under NDAs. That's fine.
Yep.
But hire Jen.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Thank you. Put the plug in.
Just
Um,
manifesting this stuff. So you know,
yeah. Hey, it works. It
we
works.
should definitely do like a parody episode where I'm the Hero of Chaos, you're a writer on the show, and Meg is
Just some
is
schmuck.
You're the
no
Sibylla.
no
You're-
wait
you're
for
Si-
it. I have a good one here.
Mhm.
Okay.
You are Maddie's understudy for the TV show.
Oh my God,
I
yes.
love that.
Yeah, or like
Love
her like
Her
acting
stand-in.
coach,
Her-
vocal
her
coach,
stand-in.
Or yeah.
yeah, her
Oh
stand-in,
yeah,
or
her
something
acting
like that,
coach,
yeah.
like her
Yeah.
her like her character coach. Yeah.
Yeah, you're her character coach. Yeah, you know,
Mhm.
so like the show has Sarah Nakamura for all the book stuff.
I'm
Maddie
Egwene.
has you for the Egwene knowledge. I don't. There's got to be
Gotcha.
a better way to say that, but you know,
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
we'll do a parody show at some point post season 3 because otherwise we just won't get all of season 2 done in time. And segueing across,
Yes.
let's talk episodes 203 and 204.
Do we
Ta-da!
have the stats on it?
So they were both directed by Sana Hamri.
Mhm.
203 was written by John McCutcheon. And I need to change screens to get 204.
I know, and it's so funny. I literally I was like, oops, I wrote down 204, but I didn't write. I wrote down the directors, but I didn't get the writers written down in time, and I'm looking it up madly right now.
This one says it was written by Dave Hill as well.
This is Dave Hill, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so is that
yeah.
right? Yeah, both, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously they're like staff writers like Rami Park and Catherine B. McKenna and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
main writers, yeah.
Good.
So it is 204 is Daughter of the Night, and 203 is What Might Be? Yes, What Might
Yeah.
Be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we start, Jen, with your big oh my god moment? Let's start there.
Let's do that.
Sure, and it's at the end. They're both towards the end of 204, actually. I've
We
well,
never
I've two-
go linearly.
Yeah,
I know,
we
that's true.
jump around like I mean last
That's
time I
true.
realized we spent like half the episode talking about Padden Fane, and
Yeah.
there was moments where I was like watching the recap on one of the episodes. I was like, oh yeah, that was in 202, and we didn't talk about that, but you know that's fine.
Right. Okay. So yes, good, fair enough. And so I'll start with that because actually it might inform. Like I said, it was this epiphany moment I had at the end of 204. So I was like, it might inform how we talk about 203 and 204 as a total. So when I land right at the end, when Lanfear and Rand are up on the mountain and the Myrddraal show up, and Rand has to channel, and Lanfear plays all like she's screaming. She's actually screaming, and I was like, "Oh, that's sweet. He gave us our Celine." As much as none of us wanted it, the Celine we didn't want. Like it's the damsel in distress moment. She screams and and plays protect me because she wants to because she's setting him up to do that. And then she plays out the whole game of like, what did you just do? What did you just do? Did you just channel? And fearful of him. And he says, I'm not mad yet. And then, and then she goes into like, well, why didn't you just tell me you could channel? And so from the get-go, I've been like, what's her end game here? Because she literally reveals herself 10 seconds later. Like, why does she make him go through the mental gymnastics of A, I'm afraid of you because you're a man who can channel. B, I'm guilting you because why didn't you tell me this about yourself? C, you should trust yourself. Oh my God, the line that she says of like, I never showed my true self. You should be with someone who allows you to show your entire self. Oh my God, it ripped my heart out this time, which is such a great line of dialogue. And then 4, she's like, guess what? You're not the only monster here. I'm a monster too. And so I was like, why does she make him go through the mental gymnastics? I love the moment when he says, I'm going to go away from you because I go away from the people I love. I'm going to kill the people I love. And she says, does that mean you love me? Like that moment is so beautiful and is so perfect. But I've always been like, but why are you making him go through all these steps? It's not for me. It's not for a book reader. If you have not read the books and you're watching it, at this point, she's still just an innkeeper. There really isn't. She's a little manipulative. She takes him to the thing. We have the confusion of the dream where he is channeling, but it's a dream. And then, the thing goes up in fire in real life. So if you're watching the show and you don't know that she's Lanfear, and we've been spending the entire last 2 episodes talking about her, some Forsaken has been released, blah, blah, blah. Such a great reveal.
Mhm.
And I
It is.
can't have it. There's no way I can have that reveal. Now, granted, my son Zach, who watched this episode when he was 14, said he knew. He knew. He figured it out.
Knew that she was what? Like, not who
Lanfear.
she said she was. He
Yeah,
doesn't know
yeah.
who Lanfear is.
No,
No,
but
but they-
they've been
There
talking
is
about Lanfear.
there is talk of
They're
Lanfear
reading-
in
Yeah, I get
previous
it.
episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think he
So
said he
I
had figured-
watched it with my best friend Colleen, who doesn't have any, I mean, other than knowing that I've been obsessed with it for 25 years, you know. And I watched it first, and then I watched it with her, and then I kept like looking at her at the corner of my eye while like it was all happening, and then she was like, "Oh!" Like it was really satisfying to watch
Yeah.
someone. Yeah.
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 So that means
that's
it works as a
great.
reveal.
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. It works beautifully. And so, yeah, because Rand doesn't know yet. I mean, and it's just so hard for me to remove, obviously it's hard for all of us to remove what we know from the show. And most of the time, there's just so many sweet little Easter eggs and things that are great that are like really there for us. But this was one that had me a little stumped. I was just like, it just feels like, why is she going to such effort? Why is she doing so much? But it's not, and it's not even for Rand. I mean, that's the truth of it is this is written for an audience member who does not know what's coming next. It is not for she's not doing it for Rand's sake, and she's not doing it for a show watcher or book watcher's sake. So anyway, I really loved that revelation for myself, not about information, but about crafting of the show. And there are some things you're like, you just have to commit. You're like, we know that half of our audience is going to know what's coming, but we have to really milk this moment for those who don't.
Yeah. Agreed.
And it's just great. Yeah.
And it does deliver. I have to say that moment where he's like, well, okay, I have to go away now because I leave the people I love before I kill them. You know, I have to say her reaction to that is a classic example of, and not specific to any, person, class, group, gender, whatever type thing. It's a classic example of a human being hearing what they want to hear out of a sentence.
For sure. Yeah.
Because he's like, I need to leave before I kill you because I'm going to end up killing the people I love. And the only thing she hears out of that, because at this stage you don't know she's Lanfear, is, you love me? The only thing she hears. And for me at that moment, I was like, what a classic example of human beings not listening to hear, but listening to respond.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, if that's not Wheel of Time, lack of communication, I don't know what is.
I do not think you hear what you think you hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think when I was watching that, I knew that she's Lanfear, and I know it's meant to be a reveal. So I think I probably thought, okay, it's a bit of an oversell.
Yeah.
But it needs to be for a show watcher. I think
Yeah.
that just sort of went through my head, and I never really thought about whether it lands or not. I was just like, okay, this is why they're doing it that way, and I moved on for the moment. So I never considered, does that actually land? Does it work? So it's good. Now we know from Meg's friend, it does.
Yeah. And for a show watcher, I mean, it's a great journey because for a show watcher, you're like, uh-oh, he told her, but he's going to lose her. Oh, she hates him. Oh, what's she going to do? She's going to run away. Oh, wait, she's interested. Ooh, is she weird? Like, and then it's like, she's really weird. Like, it's just, and, and of course, like when they're making love, you have it. I mean, they definitely like you, if you haven't figured it out by the time she starts to channel the true power, like you're missing something because you've got is it Yvonne, I think, is reading it first.
Yes.
Yvonne is reading the poem and then it switches to Ishi's voice halfway through, which I'd also think I'd forgotten or not realized that they switch it to Ishi's voice partway through. Like, I mean, I must have known it at the time, but it was a surprise for me again this time.
I'm trying to think back to the first time I watched that. I think I did notice the change. But again, at that stage, we know what it is. So I think you make that mental leap straight away or ahead of time.
Yeah.
And it
so you
happens
don't listen
right
to
when
those details.
Yeah. And it happens when she's channeling the true power, which I didn't know she was doing. Like, I was like, what is she doing? Like, is she dropping the mask of mirrors? Like, what are we not seeing around her, or whatever? And it's just like, anyway, it's cool. It's great. It was it's just, I love it. It was fun.
And then
it was good.
we do get the whole, straight after this, I suppose it was quite shocking when it first happened. Like Moraine turned. I don't know how you two reacted, but I was just
Oh
like,
no, I was surprised.
I was like, oh shit, okay, we're just gonna like stab her through the chest,
Yeah.
slice her throat, spray Rand with blood. You know,
Yeah.
like okay, it's getting a real messy game in bed now. Like, you know, the whole Rand might kill Moraine, and then she explains and be like, we gotta run because she ain't actually dead, and she
Yeah.
brings herself back to life. Thing, you know, like
Mhm.
it was a very very shocking moment.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing her walking back out of the hut after this in the trailer and thinking that's Moraine or that's going to be Tel'Aran'rhiod or something like that. But never in a million years would I expect it to be a case of, you know, a brought back to life after being stabbed and throat slit. Lanfear,
It's
like wow.
it's good. Well, and I think that actually tells me this is probably why I didn't really like dig into how I felt about the whole weird reveal. And like, I was like, it kind of bothers me, but I don't know why. Because they are doing such a good job of walking both those lines at the same time. They're like, this is how we're going to shock the audience who doesn't know what's happening. And here's how we're going to shock the audience who thinks they know what's happening. You know, like, because none of us expected Maureen to stab her. Like, so they, you know, it's like they're servicing both beautifully. I mean, I'm sorry. I know it sounds like I'm a shill, but lip service to the writing team and to Wraith's, you know, big picture, because they do a great job of serving.
If Rafe would like to sponsor this podcast, that is also welcome.
Yes, if Rafe would like to sponsor this podcast or hire another writer.
Free G&Ts.
Yes.
Megan will make you the G&Ts.
We would rename our podcast 3 Ginning.
Yes.
Or something like that. You know, like
we could just
gin wheeling
each of ourselves.
We would be gin wheeling. Oh,
gin
I like that.
wheeling. Oh, I do like that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me go off on my my craft side of things.
No, I love that. Meg,
yes.
What do you want to start with? We started with the end of 204.
Well, and to kind of piggyback off that, I can't remember what it was we were debating with the new trailer for season 3. But there was something with we weren't sure if Lanfear was in a dream, and she was like, we were like, well, she can't be in a dream because she's got long hair. What was it from the trailer that we were arguing about?
Now you've said that, I'm gonna go look for it.
Because so in this episode, the scene where she is like, when he comes back from Logain, and then she like slams him up against the wall and chokes him out, and she's like,
and says, "Never leave me again.
I'll kill you."
Yeah,
and then starts doing the dirty with him, and then he starts channeling. Obviously, that has to be a dream. That was not reality, because she would then know that he can channel, which she doesn't later in the episode. So that's clearly in his dream, not necessarily Tel'Aran'rhiod, but she's entering his dream.
Right, but she would enter with short hair and with long hair, because
that's what I'm saying.
That's what
so
he has.
I think whatever we were arguing about in the trailer, she would be entering somebody's dream, not Tel'Aran'rhiod, but somebody's dream. But I don't remember what it was.
I mean, we've got a lot of Lanfear when she's like killing Moraine.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that's what I was wondering, if one of those,
that's
most
all
of those
the
are
visions,
short hair, I think.
though, too. I mean, they could possibly be in her dreams, but
and it would also depend on who's met her. I mean, so Matt has met her with long hair.
I can't find a single moment that's not very obviously a vision with Lanfear.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Or when she's got her hair pulled back, but you know, is also in her Lanfear.
I don't know if it's when she's like canoodling Rand, if that's what that was.
Canoodling Rand. I mean, there is like, I'm sure there's like canoodling moment. I forget that now.
Sorry.
I heard that playing. This is what happens when you play at an alternative device.
Yes, is which I did, but it's so good. It's so good.
It is great. I love the music they've chosen.
I think I'm gonna make a cocktail that's like got time simple syrup and call it time.
Yes, you should.
That's great.
Oh, but I did have something, since we're talking about like things that show up in the teaser as we're finding this, Meg. Watching Nynaeve's accepted test and Leanne taking point. Leanne was in the center. Leanna's in the center, and I was just like, I hate that this is a room full of Black Ajah.
Well, Leanna's not Black Ajah.
No, I know, but 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So Leanna's in the center, and I was like, oh, the most powerful, or at least highest status, because we don't know if they're actually going to play like amount of power as status
Right.
or just status as status.
Let's-
But
yeah.
because Swan is in the center in
in the book.
90 in Egwene's test, in the trailer.
In the trailer. Mhm.
Yeah, and I was just so just
highest
seeing
rank.
Lyanna, I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I have context for that now, because of course Lyanna would take point because she's the highest status of the three.
Yes.
And so when Swan comes back and Lyanna's there, Lyanna's now on the corner and
Mhm.
not taking lead. It
Yeah.
was just a
That makes
Which is
sense.
cool.
I've found the canoodling moment. It does look like she has her Celine style hair, but it's also, you see the side of her head. You don't even see like her lower jaw type thing, even though she's
Mhm.
sort of like half canoodling up to the side of Rand's head. You don't even see
Yeah.
the top of her head either. It's a very much
Yeah.
closed in shot. So there's no way to
Why do
tell
I
whether
feel
that
like
comes
there was
back behind her
something
head like it
else?
does often in Teleron or whether it flows down Celine style.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Comparing
Meg,
it
this is
later-
it. Meg,
Yeah,
this
there
is
we
the
go.
shot.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know, but I want to say there was something else that we were arguing about, and I can't.
I mean,
remember
do you
what
mean
that
the statues where you think they're in episode 4 and we clearly think they're in episode 1? For those listening, the face I'm getting right now could really spit daggers.
It was a really good look. It was a really good look.
No one throws shade like
Oh
Meg.
wait, why don't I pull up? I have all the stills. I don't
She
think
also
we
has-
talked about
oh,
this
yeah.
one.
She also has long hair when she's doing the dirty with Moiraine.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's probably just a vision, which whatever. But
That's so much. It's so
Yeah.
hot. It's so
It is very
hot.
I want to, while we're talking about accepted tests,
Mhm.
like, obviously Nynaeve's accepted test was pretty dramatic in a few ways. I had something, I don't know if I thought about this originally when I was watching it, but when I was watching it back, like, they stick Nynaeve in her fake out of her third pass, where she comes out and it's meant to be like, oh, you've done the archway, and she's come out, she's covered in blood, and obviously as the episode progresses, we find out, she's not actually out the archway, she's still at the test quote. In that fake out set of visions that are just all like, crazy and blurred and, vague screaming and yelling and whatever else it might be, she's like in a hardcore red dress the entire time. Like, are they really trying to plug that Nynaeve is going to pick red, or that the
well, I
red is
think they
chasing
want to
her?
leave it as the possibility, that like Leandrin. I mean, because at this point we don't know Leandrin's black, and it probably just leads credence to the fact that Leandrin is really trying to recruit her. And then the audience would think that maybe she is going to listen to Leandrin and become Red Ajah. And I
Okay.
did figure out what part it was, by the way.
All right, what part was it?
It's when she's standing with Leandrin over at the Emerald seat. And she's
Oh,
got
at the-
long hair.
Is that at the beginning?
It is at... I didn't even get it, but I remembered what it was. Hang on. It
Yeah,
was,
yeah. Oh, is that's somewhere very early on, surely?
I think it
'Cause
is
they're
early on.
talking.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like
It's before it gets actiony.
before it gets actiony. That's true.
That's my
Uh,
technical word for it.
That's how the writers
Actiony.
say it, folks.
Mhm. That's right.
Actiony. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I found the
Yep,
bit
yep,
you
yep,
mean.
yep. You're right, Meg.
Yeah.
I usually am.
But it's also she's she has appeared as Lanfear in the flesh to Leandrin.
Mhm.
When she kills
Eludrin.
Eludrin, who tells us that there
Stop
will not be an
saying
Eludra in the
that.
show.
I was waiting for that.
Every time I say his name, I'm gonna reiterate: there's no Eludra in the show.
Talking of hills earlier that I was dying on, I think we found Jen's hill. So
Look, they did us dirty with Matt. Everybody gets mad about Matt being from a family, blah, blah, blah. Just let him make the fucking cannons. We don't need Eludra.
He's not an engineer.
We don't need Eludra.
We need an illuminator because we need the whole gunpowder thing.
Yeah, and Matt's going to figure it out. We've got fireworks. He likes to play with them. It's fine. Don't give me that. She's giving me the stink eye now. Are you looking at this, Rob?
Yeah.
Did she freeze like that, or did you actually just hold still?
I think she held still and then it froze as well. But I mean, first time.
No, I was just that still.
Yeah, it's fair. Beth in chat says we need Eludra. here's
I
you know
know.
we do have someone in the show who likes to tinker with things, so maybe Matt and
And Elaine.
can
Mhm.
work it out. We're still getting. Oh my
I just
god, Meg's like, Rob, you're not meant to help her with this horrible idea.
I
You know.
know.
I'm gonna
I'm
talk
sad
to Brian.
about
We
it.
need to get Brian the Gleeman on here to back me
I
up.
know. I am sad about it. I'm not saying that I don't like the character of Eludra. I love the character of Eludra. I do. I think she's. I think Jordan does her dirty. I think she's got way more potential than Jordan ever uses her for. And
Absolutely.
so, truly, I think. I don't know. Sorry to be the harbinger. Give me the ravens and the
False
crows.
news. Fake news.
Fake
It's not
news.
fake news. It's real.
All
It's
right.
real.
How did we lead into the Eludra conversation?
Wow.
I don't know. It was.
Off the
Lanfear has
rails.
revealed herself to Leandrin. That was it. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so
So
I
it's
think
just
this is clearly Leandrin's dream. And then Lanfear enters her dream. And again, enters her as she
Yeah.
would recognize her.
I
with
like
the
that.
long hair.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll go
Yeah.
with that.
I can
Because
roll with that,
Leandrin
yeah.
is definitely wanting to raise her station and become Emerald,
Yeah.
So
But
I
yeah,
would
where
like
I
to-
was going with the
Mhm. No,
with
you go.
the accepted test, that was the first thing when I was seeing that. Is that really just them trying to make the show watchers think, okay, Nynaeve's going to pick red, or is that
mhm.
Rafe trying to really set us up for a massive left of center change in the
Well,
books? Like,
to talk about the red, so something that I noticed this time that I didn't notice before, I think there's Crimson Thorn in every iteration.
Yes.
So
Well, I don't think it's in the third one.
Well, I looked. So I think because I was looking for it. So
Mhm.
in the past that she picks up the Crimson Thorn and her dad washes her hands.
yes,
Mhm.
In the present, it's next to Tam. And we believe
Yeah.
Natty's given him Crimson Thorn.
okay. Shout out
Um,
to Juliet Howland appearing
yes,
multiple
yes.
times, and I just love how she keeps coming back.
Yes.
So great.
Anyway, but then in the
and-
future one,
And then the future, so she's got the red dress in the fake out. And then I think when she puts her daughter in the basement, I thought that maybe I saw Crimson Thorn hanging by the stairs going up. I'm
I
not
looked for it
100%
too.
sure.
I looked for it too because I had the same
Yeah.
thought, Meg. I was like, it should be in all three.
Yeah.
in
And
theory,
I
yeah.
didn't see it, but admittedly, I was watching at that time. I was watching it on my phone. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
also
tried-
watched that.
I mean,
on
it
my
was
phone.
hard to see, and I might just be making, lemonade out of apples.
no.
but-
It is absolutely relevant. Like, there's no reason why it would be in both if it wasn't super important. But I agree that
Well,
it
and then
is.
what does it symbolize? Like, does it symbolize her potential going to the Red Ajah? Like, I feel like there's got to be a reason that it's in all three.
It is a lovely crossover between the red and the yellow, and I also love. I mean,
It
I
is.
actually, yeah, and I love that Leandrin. I love what Leandrin says about it in the previous episodes when she
Mhm.
says, you could heal one person or you could heal millions of people or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
like just like it's also because the red just seems so evil and it gives us a nice thing. Go ahead, Rob.
All
Rob,
right.
you got a thought?
Yeah, hear me out now. And this is totally, I'm not even got to the second point that I ever wanted to make. What if you've just said that the Crimson Thorn is like a nice juxtaposition between red and yellow. Like it's all the red stuff and it's the power of death and things like that. But, it's a herb and healing and so on and so forth, which is a very yellow aspect. And obviously, what if Nynaeve, like the whole thing with Nynaeve is she's the first, they bring it in, she's the first sister that is like a bit of both. Like she's not a yellow sister, she's not a red sister. She would, if you want to just go plain and mix colors, she'd be an orange sister. Like what if Nynaeve, they're going to change it, and eventually Nynaeve, if they stick with how she becomes Aes Sedai in the books, eventually goes and says, well, we shouldn't just be reds, yellows, blues, greys. We should be, I'm this and that type thing. And she's like the first of a new type of Aes Sedai, which is, these
Colorless.
are my main,
Yeah.
colorless. These are my main traits type thing.
Yeah.
What if it's like a very, very long game for that? Meg's face
Yeah.
is really just explaining how
She's
stupid
not
I
buying it.
sound. Right? She's not buying that at all.
Okay, you want to know why I don't?
Please, yeah. I mean, this is just a wild idea. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just like, that's where my brain went straight away. So
And maybe it's a selfish thing. But so when Egwene is like captured in the tower and becomes a novice again,
yes,
and she's going around and like
Finding the best of each.
Yeah, finding the best of each, and like every time she goes to a sitter, they're like, "Oh, you really have these white qualities," or "Oh, you really have this quality," or whatever. Like, and because she never chose an Ajah.
Yeah,
like
she's truly the only Amyrlin
of
who
all
is
Ajahs and none.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like
you don't want that to disappear.
No, I
That's
get that.
Egwene's.
No, yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, but you could still, and again, folks, just to remind you, this is just my brain's gone suddenly down the track, and I'm just following it and seeing where it leads. I'm not dying on the hill just yet. Maybe I will. Who knows? But Nynaeve could say, "Well, I'm of two Ajahs." But really, if you're going to pick someone who's Amyrlin in the future after Egwene, you should pick someone who does genuinely be like, well, I like healing like the Yellows. I have a really tenacious outlook on life, around justice and things like that, like the Reds. I have a thing for causes like the Blues. I have a thing for mediation like the Greys. Like someone who actually says, my thumb is in all 7 pies. It could be the start of that, and then in the future you could be, if you actually have ambitions to one day be the Amyrlin seat, you need to be one of these multicolored Aes Sedai rather than like 1 or 2 or 3 colors type thing.
I don't think that Nynaeve has a drop of white or gray.
Yeah.
Let me just say that right now. I mean, she could be a green. She's very fierce, but I don't think she has a drop of logic or mediation in her.
Yep.
Let me go.
100%.
But I want to jump on what you're saying, Rob, because I think there's something really to this. I like the idea that I am a Nynaeve is my favorite, has been my favorite forever. I'm not a yellow myself, but I could lean yellow just because I love Nynaeve so much, and I want her to be a yellow, and she's a healer first and foremost. She learns how to reduce madness. She's the only one who she not only learns how to heal stilling and severing and gentling, but she also learns how to work on madness.
I wouldn't say learns. I would say discovers.
Discovers. Fine to have it. It said discover. Thank you. Much better word. Much better word. Yeah. Thank you from the non-writer to the writer. I appreciate that. I do. It's a much better word.
Again, this is why she's Maddie's character coach. So,
exactly. It's Maddie's character coach.
I'm getting his t-shirts right now. I'm sorry,
Oh my God, yes.
Meg's a character coach. Jen's a permanent writer. And what did we say I was?
What did we say you were? You're
We literally talked about this 15 minutes ago.
We did. It was so
we can go back and listen to it tomorrow.
I'll go back and listen to it. But I'm getting his t-shirts made with those 3 things on,
Yes. I love it. I love it. But I think that what if she is the one who revolutionizes? Okay. Sorry,
We're
Pavara.
really going into fourth age.
Sorry,
what
Pavara,
if, aren't we?
but what if she becomes Red, and Red's new job is to heal the madness of the men who could channel instead of gentling them, but to heal them. And
I always thought that it would end up that Reds would only take on warders who could channel.
Yes, and there was that talk about it.
That would be the flip. Yeah.
Yep. And I don't want to mixed feelings, but I do enjoy some Pavara and Andral a lot. I don't want to lose them, but
that coming from from you is a lot.
Because it's a Sanderson.
Yes.
Yeah. No, honestly, there is a lot about them that's great. Like how they become connected and such, is not the best.
Me up that you seriously have read Sanderson and you bought all
I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what this is.
What the hell is that? Sorry, for those listening, Jen has just pulled out some black and luminous green
from
toy.
The Mistborn series.
I've read the Mistborn extensively. What the hell is it?
Well, I
don't know.
It's the Kandra or whatever that have the crystal bone structure thingy.
Oh,
I think
that's meant to be a Kandra. Jesus
I think
Christ,
so.
Anderson.
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
I mean, it's made like a tea turtle. It's made like it's an inside out. It's an inside out plush for if you can't see. It's an inside out plush. It's a cute little animal on the outside with a cute face, and then you see its skeleton on the inside, which looks like it grows in the dark.
Speaking of Sanderson,
that was my offering to Sanderson. That was my just saying I don't.
Yeah.
That's
you do need to read it.
We don't hate the guy, but there are
I have moments. I have thoughts.
We have thoughts and moments.
So kind of speaking of Sanderson in these episodes. So in 204, when Ishi's going through to find Lanfear's seal, it totally makes me think of the Shattered Plains when Kaladin and everybody is down in the chasms, training. It totally made me think of that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we know.
I know. I'm
I
gonna,
still, I think I finished the third book. I think I did.
That was in the first book.
I know. No, I'm just like,
Oh.
obviously still my archive. I'm like, I'm so lost about where I was or wasn't and what I have and haven't read.
Yeah,
and how
you
many
got to
times I've
reread them
tried.
all again
That
before you.
no, because I tried. It took me like 5 attempts just to get to the end of the 5th book, and I'm like, I don't even remember if I actually got to the last page of the 5th book. I know I definitely got to the ending, or if I got to the actual end.
I
is a
haven't read
different
Win and
thing.
Truth yet, but I've read all the other ones. So
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to throw up a comment. Apparently I can make this appear on screen. Oh, look at that!
Ooh.
Fardaris, my grandma, who's in
Nice.
live chat, says in the show the Reds are ruling forces. Book
Yeah.
Naive was definitely a rules
that
enforcer.
is very true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
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 So it can
Love
definitely be a
that.
thing. I like. Yeah, this is. I mean, this is like a full show possibility theory here type thing. It's
Mhm.
very out there, very crazy. But
but
I
it's
do
not.
love the potential for changing how Aes Sedai do things.
Mhm.
It's bringing people together, isn't it? It's as opposed to at the moment I'm rereading the Aragon series by Christopher Paolini because I want to read the 5th book he wrote, which sort of follows on a number of years later, and I'm refreshing myself in the original series. But in it, I've just had the bit where the dwarfs like crown a king and all that sort of stuff, and they're talking about like clan wars, and if they don't do this, then like, there'll be a clan war, and then they won't be able to help the Varden defeat Galbatorix and all that sort of stuff. And it just it's making me now look at this situation of if the Ajahs are not because it gets later in the books, it gets very much like reds against blues against yellows, this
Yeah.
that and the
Mhm.
other, and like punish each other and such, and it's very much a case of separation. What better way to bring people together than say, rather than like you're yellows, you're blues, you're this. No, Aes Sedai can be all 7 of these things,
Mm-hmm.
and the Amelin Seat must be all 7 of these things because she is of
Mhm.
all and of none.
Mm-hmm. The Ajahs were invented post breaking. I mean,
Yeah, post-breaking, yeah.
Aes Sedai in the early days didn't have that kind of
In the book,
allegiance.
not
Yeah.
necessarily in the show, which means
That's
that could still potentially be the Hall of Servants. Just
It
saying.
Just
Okay.
that. Speaking of dying on hills,
yeah,
I
That
know
is
what
a
you're
hill
talking-
I'm still gonna die on.
and
I don't
Yeah.
care
Dave
what
Hill
other
and Dave
information I
Hill
get.
wrote episode 204. I don't know.
Yeah, there we go.
Trying to tie it back to that.
But like
I
this,
love
to bring them all back together, and to be like, you are not yellow sisters, red sisters, you blue sisters. You
Mhm.
are Aes Sedai with
Mhm.
these different elements within you. Okay,
Yeah.
some of you have 2 elements, 3 elements. Some of you have 5 or 6 or 7. Like but we are all Aes Sedai, and it could be a
The yellows are bitchy. They're horrible to Nynaeve at
They
the
are,
end
that's so
of the
true.
series
Man,
when
we
she's
almost
trying
had a
to.
spit take on that one.
They are. Dagdara can just bite me. Like, I don't know. They're just like, I don't think
Okay,
we're gonna let you
Wait,
in.
mark this, Rob, for the
That's the
audio.
sound. That's the sound bite.
Dagdara can bite me.
I'm just
But
saying.
this is great. Honestly, this is.
Yeah.
We don't go
I-
through the episodes anymore. We are just like
Nah,
getting
we
on
just-
a thread and
we
running
go.
with it. And
We
this is a
go.
beautiful thread.
Okay,
Honestly, I
do
think
have-
we need to
it
really
is.
make a point of bringing this back again and again and again. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
This could be.
I love
something.
this.
Yeah.
I do have one other thing that jumped out at me in the show this time.
Okay.
Which has not. I mean, I've seen this episode multiple times. Min and Ishi. First of all, let me just say again that Faris,
Mm-hmm.
I would happily have all of his babies. I just
Oh
love him
my.
so much. I just love him so much.
He is
He's
great
so
with
amazing.
kids, you know.
He's really good with kids.
Yeah.
I know, right? He would make a really good dad.
Yeah, and pets.
Um,
yeah.
And frankly, being the father of lies, you kind of have to be. Like, whatever. Anyway, as a parent. But sorry. Trying to give you extra sound bites besides
We
Dagdara.
really got off the rails.
Min and Ishi, in the scene with Min and Ishi, he's fucking lying to her. He can't remove her power. He does not have the
Yeah.
ability to remove her power. And I did not see
Yeah,
that
I
the
guess
last
I didn't
many,
really like
many,
think
many
about it
times.
either. But yeah, you're totally right.
Straight
I don't
up,
know
yeah.
why I believe
flat out lying. He says, "Do you think an Aes Sedai has the ability to do that?" And I'm like, "You don't either, asshole." Like,
why
he
does he
not.
suddenly sound just a teeny bit southern?
Do you think the Aes Sedai? I've been hanging because he's been hanging out with Ashanshan is why.
Yeah, there we go. This is true.
Also, for the first time ever, I actually watched the Uno bit.
Mm.
Oh,
I've
course.
closed my
I
eyes
can't
every
believe
time.
we've got like an hour into recording, not
we haven't
necessarily an
talked
hour
to-
talking about
Sorry,
these
guy.
episodes. But yeah, like
Sorry, guy. I know.
I love
know.
I remember talking about this when it happens because he asshole. Guy Roberts, you bastard. Okay? I love you, Guy, but you're an asshole. He led me to believe that he survived season 3. I even have it.
Well, in a way, he does.
In a way, he does, but like without like you know his
Yeah.
like without Uno dying. Like he made me
Right.
believe that Uno physically lived the whole season.
Yeah.
I have a tour book from Prague that was given to people who were on set for season 2. It was a gift from Amazon to them. They all, you know, they get goodie bags and stuff. And then Natty Coffin, who's Juliet Howland, got it signed by people who were on set when she was recording in the Two Rivers. Okay, and then had it, you know, sent it to me to then do it at a charity auction about KiriCon, and I was like, well, I need to bid on that until I have it, so I do. Guy's signature is in it, for Christ's sake. All right. And I was like, see, his signature's in it, along with like, you know, a few other people type thing. And I'm like, so these people were all on set for, it was season 3 stuff, not season 2 stuff. These people were all on set, you know, so I know he makes it because he's signing this for season 3. And the fucking bastard dies in episode 4. I was like 3. I was like, God damn it. But I did love how it's like, you know, he's got to say basically fuck you to his wife.
Yes.
In real life.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was also
your
her first day on set.
It was her
was
first
her-
day on set?
It was
Oh my
her
God,
very
that's
first
great.
day on set. It was the only time they
Amazing.
recorded together, obviously.
Yeah.
Her first day on set, and he gets to be like, fuck you, and she's just like, kill him. You know, it's just, it's a
So
fun
good.
mix.
I have closed my eyes every single time. Like I know I've done this like like open one eye a little bit like afterwards. I never saw the second push.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like the push down on the shoulders of
push.
the hand, and
Uh-huh.
then,
And
the foot in the
through.
back, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never saw it before. And I was like, "Wah!" Because I close my eyes every time because it's so scary.
Yeah.
It's
very
so
scary.
scary. I
That
don't want to see
that
it.
kid Damani is scary. Tell you what, that kid has no lines whatsoever.
Which okay,
The
that
blonde
takes
girl?
me to another thing that I thought about this time. So with her pointing out Mareth Damane
Right.
Mhm.
and Logain talking about how he can see Rand channeling, that makes me really think that it's a talent with a T that you can sense other channelers.
Also, Maureen says without lying, because she can't lie,
That
I
she didn't know
didn't know
Nynaeve.
Nynaeve could channel.
Right. So the metaphysics definitely are you cannot recognize a channeler unless maybe you have this capital T
Yeah.
talent.
Oh,
yep,
well,
yep.
that would be a fun change.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you know,
Because the
it's just
talents are all kooky anyway, aren't they? So, you know,
Right.
they are, and it's even the metaphysics of that is actually it's muddy in the first 3 books because
Well,
you
a
know,
lot of it's muddy in the first.
I
3
know.
books,
I
to
mean,
be
he was building it.
honest.
It's
Yeah.
fine, but like
Yeah.
because Egwene says the thing about like with Avienda when she's like, "Oh, now I understand why I feel this affinity with her," and she
Mhm.
realizes it when she meets the wise ones.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you've been hanging out in the tower with a lot of women who can channel for a long time, and yet didn't figure it out before this. Egwene, who
Yeah.
figures out everything really quickly. So I'm just, you know, he didn't have it. He didn't have it down. He didn't
Mhm.
have it clear. And I think I don't mind that metaphysics change at all because it's muddy in the first few books anyway.
Yeah, it confuses the hell out of everyone. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then we have to worry about
Hiding your ability to
masking
channel.
your ability. Yeah,
Mhm.
like and masking your ability with the Forsaken gets just complicated. I think it's a smart choice.
yeah,
I'm on board, Meg.
it will streamline things further down the line. I like that. It makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was something else I was going to say now. Oh yeah, so that kid, like the Damani, who's
Mhm.
picking people out. Seriously, I think I actually did. I'm doing like my countdown to season 3 thing where I'm making like reels and such. One of them was about her, where I was just like, you know, just some of the acting's insane. Not just from the regular, like the main cast, but like the smaller people.
She
And
doesn't
here's
say a
someone who has
word.
no lines whatsoever, and she's
Mhm.
so fucking scary. Really, if
We
you
all
think
have
about it.
nightmares about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't point
know.
at me.
Yeah, if you point at me, I'm like, no, what did I do? You know, like, I'm a guy. I don't channel.
Yeah.
You know, like, she's terrifying. And it's so. I think I said in the reels, like, imagine saying to your friends, I'm in this amazing show all the time. Be like, oh, cool, what's your character? Like, how many lines do you have? You'd be like, none. But I'm on screen like 7 times and I
Mhm.
terrify
Yeah.
the shit out of
Yeah.
everybody. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
it was very, 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 very cool to see her again. I was like, this is, you know, terrifying, but also great.
Mhm.
I realized I never finished my second point about the
Oh.
accepted test.
Sorry.
to
Oh, yeah,
go
I'm so
back to
sorry.
that. No, it's all right.
Yes.
In her future test, I loved the foreshadowing. I think I picked up more this time than I've ever picked up before because I looked at it a lot more.
Mhm.
But Perrin, I always knew that Perrin died by the axe. The axe being thrown at him by the Trolloc.
Mhm.
But I didn't actually really notice that he was fighting with a hammer just before that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, which is perfect. Matt dies, and he has one of his eyes scratched out.
Mhm.
And it's just this. And now I'm thinking, oh, how does Lan die then? Because he gets a sword from the chest.
Right.
But it's just
Well, which when he fights with Demandred, he sheathes the sword, does he not?
He does. He does.
That
And
was
gets
it.
healed.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
I was like, how? Because there's got to be something here. So
Yeah.
Yep.
things that will pay off in the rewatch when
Mhm.
we've got
Mhm.
later seasons are just going to be incredible. And it
Mhm.
happens so fast that you don't, unless you do what we're doing, you don't see them until you rewatch.
Well, just to go off that, so when Nynaeve's doing her fake out in the future where she's like falling in the red dress and there's like these flashes of her like swinging an axe and then she has blood on herself, I watched it. It is the exact same scenes from when she's in the fight with the Trollocs later.
Oh,
Wow.
I was trying to catch them and couldn't.
Yeah.
Again, I was on my phone during that section.
She's
so I
wearing
couldn't
the
see it.
same like blue shirt. I looked at it and
Mhm.
and she's swinging an axe and then she's beating the Trollocs with an axe in the future. So yeah,
That's
oh my
cool.
God.
So, somebody asked me. I think David asked me. He's reading. He's reading Shadow Rising right now. Maybe he asked me this, but something about like, did she actually live that long? Did she live for long enough to raise a child?
she
And
did say it was years.
Mm-hmm.
she did say it was years, but my metaphysics take on it is that your brain tricks you into thinking that you've spent years. It creates those memories, the synapses, like creates like a world for you, but that physically she wasn't actually there for 7 years.
Well, I wonder if there is like a time dilation thing. So like I was thinking about I was literally thinking about this exact same thing. So you wonder how long like the three Aes Sedai are waiting in the chamber. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wonder if it is almost instantaneous outside of the arches.
So for
Right.
for the first and second aunt, she went in and came straight back out.
Right.
Right.
For the Aes Sedai anyway, not for her.
Right. Or at least like
Okay.
a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then again, it's like some sort of time dilation where
Like,
whatever occurs. Yeah.
Because if they're willing to give up after 10 minutes, half an hour, like how long are they waiting when they say she's
Right.
not coming? Well, they also see them still though, because they're
Right.
lit and then
Mhm.
they go
They're
quiet.
not. Yeah, they're not channeling in them anymore.
Yeah.
They like
Right.
they put in the
The
initial burst.
rings go quiet and she was not there or whatever, however they say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're pretty accurate. I think that's kind of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rings
yeah.
went quiet.
Yeah.
She was not there.
And
is how it's
she
ended.
doesn't see the way back until like she falls out. She's falling and just appears out of it. Like she doesn't see the
Right.
arch
She
in
doesn't
the
choose to
first
go out.
vision
Yeah.
Yeah.
until she's with Lan, and it's only there for a second. She doesn't even have
Mhm.
time to see it.
Right.
Yeah, because she's
yeah.
so captivated.
Well,
by
and
Lan.
I wonder about like what is also the metaphysics behind her daughter able to see it. You know what I mean?
I think that's
That's
just part of the
yeah.
fantasy.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
or if like Nynaeve literally because like the rings went quiet and she wasn't there and then Nynaeve literally like manifested it in there somehow.
Well, she's channeling there,
right, and
Yeah,
her
she's
daughter
and
was
channeling.
able to
she
see
shouldn't
it.
be able to
Yeah.
channel. So her channeling could bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the time dilation thing could work because it does depend how long they spend outside. I don't think that's ever explained.
Mhm.
But in terms of like memories and does she live that long and
Right.
then come back, and it's almost like, I suppose, time travel in that case. I mean, at the end of the day, if your body, if your memory creates the memories, how much time has passed is actually irrelevant at that stage.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter
Mhm.
whether your brain made up a year's worth of memories or decades.
Sure.
If
What
it's
she
been a day, it's
emotionally
been a day.
feels.
Like, yeah, it's what you emotionally
Right.
feel like.
Yep.
You don't judge, okay, it's been 10 years by, I feel 10 years older. You just,
Mhm.
I
Right.
have 10 years worth of memories.
Right.
So you assume it's been 10 years. It could
Lots
be,
of sex and babies. Mhm.
Yeah.
And honey cakes.
And honey cakes.
And honey cake.
Yes. Finally got honey cakes in Wheel
Yes.
of Time. Still didn't see them, but we got them.
Yes.
And also,
Twice, because
yeah.
Egwene brings her honey cakes later,
Yeah,
too.
I've never
Yes.
really noticed that until this watch. Like, 'cause
Which
I was
almost
watching.
is probably like a sore spot for her.
It
because
is.
Lan was making the honey cakes, and then she
Right.
brought them. And I was like,
Oh yeah. And she's like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
"Ooh, bad move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love Egwene calling her on it when she comes to get Egwene to go save Loyal and Perrin.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and she's like, you don't fucking get it. You don't get why I'm here and working so hard. It's not
Yeah.
because I want to be the best. It's not because I need accolades. It's because I wasn't able to help. And I want to be able to help. It's
Yeah.
great. I love that she's like, stop being stupid. It's good. It's a nice moment.
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
Anything else from these episodes that we really want to jump and talk
Just,
about?
I think Elaine, I don't want to say I could have taken or left book Elaine, but I really love show Elaine. Like, Egwene yells in her face, like, I don't even know you. And then she still comes back and, like, sits with Egwene all night in the chamber. And I'm just like,
She's fucking great.
damn.
Yeah.
Huge
She's like
level
a
of empathy.
really good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good friend. And
Yeah.
she's a good friend because she's like, I have one friend in the tower
Yeah.
and I might lose
No,
her
one friend
in the world.
at all.
Probably just one friend.
One,
yeah.
no,
So,
yeah, true. She says one friend in the world,
Yeah.
and she's
'Cause
willing to
said
call her on her
because later
jealousy.
she's like, I've never had a friend.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
am willing to lose you because it's the right thing to do. To like, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And
Mhm.
Kira's performance, everything. I love Sholane so much. When she comes on screen, my heart goes pitter patter, and I get a
I
big
know. I
smile
just like,
on my face.
I just want to hug
I
her.
just want to hug her.
Yeah.
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 I love her so much.
I mean, it helps that Kira is basically Elaine in real life anyway.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
her
Yeah.
Instagram is just how it would be if Elaine had an Instagram account. It would be exactly what Kira posts.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just crazy. So
Mm.
these are good episodes. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, what was the tone of the first ones? We said it was like all the pairings and setting things up and
Mhm.
such. This one, like it feels like story moves without them actually doing anything, which is
Mhm.
weird to say.
Oh, and I just want to say too, we didn't even mention Lindsay Duncan, and I don't need to go into anything with depth, except that Lindsay Duncan is also a gift to the world, and the creation of Anver as a character that like, and that idea, and like exploring the age difference between an Aes Sedai who doesn't age and her younger sister
and
who
I love
idolized
that
her.
she like puts Moraine in her place and is like, "Bitch, sit the fuck down and have some goddamn fucking tea with me."
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
been,
know?
it's been like 30 years. Sit
Yeah.
your ass down.
Yeah,
Talk
and
to
then
me.
she's like-
I'm in charge here. Come on.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And she's like,
Yeah.
and I also have what you want, and I'll give it to you. It's also, she doesn't hoard
when
it.
I'm
She
good
doesn't
and
like say,
ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
but she says that, you know, if you want to know where the red-haired boy is, you have to come through me. And the next thing we see is Moraine killing Lanfear.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
obviously she gave that right up. Like, she was
Yeah.
just like, but you have to recognize that you need me and you need family. It's just, everything is great about it. And Lindsay Duncan, I just watched her Doctor Who episode. I just love her so much. I love her so
I
much.
need to confess something.
You've never seen her Doctor Who episode?
I mean, I haven't watched Doctor Who in a very long time, to be honest.
Okay.
I haven't watched since Matt Smith and,
Yeah, and she's-
Amelia Pond. I haven't really watched much since then. Like, I've seen very, very short clips here and there. But I did not, and I don't know why, and I've watched this episode multiple times now, I have no idea why I did not pick up that Anver meets Rand at the party where he burns the invitation. Like, for some reason, all I saw was
What?
Rand and the invitation and burning
Invitation?
it, and just a
Yeah,
woman
yeah.
from the party. And I just
Really?
never, ever, my brain just, it was like that neuron just did not connect.
And
Yeah.
she
And it's
knew
not an-
very well who he was.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was
She did.
watching it today to like make
Yeah.
sure it was
Yeah.
as fresh as possible. I was like,
Yeah.
well, fuck me, that's on there. How have I not noticed that before?
And it's beautifully done because
That's
when
why
you saw
she knew shit. I was like, oh.
when you see it the first time, you have no idea that that she's anybody. We don't know who she is. I mean, she says Anver. I think, did she say Damodred or just
She-
Anver?
No,
I
she
think
says
just
on-
Anver. Yeah.
Or maybe even Celine says it when she turns up and be like, why are you talking to Anver? Maybe.
Maybe.
No, I think
Yeah.
she says no. She does say her name, but she definitely doesn't say Damage Rod because that
Yeah,
would
she doesn't say damage rate, yeah.
like,
And that's
yeah.
probably
Right, right,
why
right.
I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
another, Carrion and Noble type thing
Mhm.
playing the game houses. Oh, cool. Rand's burning the letters. That's a really cool book moment, And my brain just didn't file the rest away and just
Yes.
Right,
never,
yeah.
it just glossed over it every time,
That's so
And then
funny.
I watched it today. There
This
we go. Look,
time?
Beth, this time today. But Beth has just
Wow.
put in live chat. I didn't catch that till about the fourth rewatch. There we go. So I'm not the only person who glossed over the Carrion and Nobles. But I was like, that makes everything else. Like, there were a couple things, not where I'm like, how does she know? I'm just like, well, Moraine knows shit. Or she's talked to
Right.
people. She's got eyes and ears, those sorts of things. But like, on there's behavior now throughout the episodes makes so much more freaking sense to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until the episode where Moraine turns back up with Rand in tow and be like, this is Rand. Because it's just going to be funnier to me now. And I see why people... I enjoyed that moment anyway, but now it's going to be extra funny because I'm going to get the whole story behind it. So, there's a confession for you folks.
Love it.
I did have one more thing I did want to talk about.
Of course.
So when Logain is talking to Rand, he says, the blood of Lews Therin runs through his veins and he can hear his whispers. This is going to set up the audience to be very skeptical when Rand is hearing him later. It sets it up, I think, nicely for this season.
Logain says that about himself?
Yeah,
Yes.
he does, yeah. He says the blood of Lews Therin runs through my veins and so on and so forth.
And I can hear his whispers.
Yeah. Speaking of things that people don't pick up on rewatches... Apparently, out of the three of us, Meg's the only one that's actually
Because
watching the episodes.
In season one,
We're just like filing our nails and
in
painting
season one,
things.
he talked about how he could hear all the past dragons.
Yes, he does.
And then this episode, I listened and I wrote it down, and he said he specifically hears Lews Therin's whispers.
And because when he says that about the past dragons, because I thought it was his sister that he was hearing when he was when we first see the manifestation of the voices. I thought it was his sister because then there's some comment about his sister like leaving him or causing
like his
him or
family betraying him or something.
Yeah, or something. And there was some reason I thought it was his sister, but saying that it's the past dragons and that it's a woman dragon from prior cycles is cool, is interesting. And
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does set up for it to like, I don't know. It gives you a lot of is it this, is it that type moments with men and channeling.
Are the voice real? Are
the voices real?
Can
Can
the
voice hear each other?
The madness. Yeah.
I still struggle in the books with it. I struggle in the books with it. Yeah. Because both the metaphysics and the confusion.
It's Semiraj says that they're real, right?
No.
She says even though they're real, that means you're mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says they're real, but that doesn't mean you're not mad. They
right.
Yeah.
Or something.
Just because they're real doesn't mean you're not mad. Yeah.
Right.
Which is, I mean, there's got to be, you need a doctor involved to like clinically decide that in my book. You can't just be like, well, are you crazy because you hear things that aren't real?
Mm-hmm.
Or, which most people be like, yeah, that makes you crazy. You hear things that aren't real. Yeah. Okay. Either your brain is wired wrong or you're just actually crazy, which is also really probably, now that I've said that, your brain being wired wrong or wiring itself wrong or firing the wrong way sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you hear that what's real, I'm like, well,
yeah,
that's like hearing you and me talk. Like, that's like me hearing you two. Like, you're real.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing these other voices. I only hear them in my head.
It's the Matrix.
You can prove they're real. Thus, it's no different to hearing your voices. How does that still make him crazy?
Right.
That's exactly how I've always struggled in the books.
Yeah.
That's why it's always made me frustrating in the books, because I'm like, is it actually madness? Is it?
Well, I think it was like the madness was tearing down the walls to his past self.
So the only way that works is if Rand has a specific type of crazy. Because otherwise, if it's tearing down his past lives, then it would be, if there's like, that's what the taint does to a man who channels. It'd be like, well, then is it, to laddie who started, taking bricks out of the walls to build a castle to protect whoever it was in Min in Andor, like who has to have poison wine, is that...
God, that scene kills me.
I suppose the difference is when they hear those crazy things and then they get stuck permanently in that moment. Like he becomes
Right.
that child-like person,
Yeah.
and the others
Yeah.
become,
I think it
psychos
just
who wanna kill
manifests.
everybody.
Yeah, I think it manifests differently in everybody. Is the thing.
It
And
does
also,
do that.
how is it
Yeah.
different than what Matt goes through though? Like, it's not
Yeah.
as necessary. I mean,
It's a good
first
point.
By
of all,
definition,
I'm,
Matt is Rand. Then, sorry, Matt is Rand. Matt is mad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I have been paying a lot of attention to when different things, because I just reread, because I'm in Shadow Rising, and I'm paying a lot of attention to when Matt, like when he gets the gifts from the foxes, and when and says fill my holes, fill them up. Sorry. Fill-
I don't think I think Meg and I would have been really chill about the comment had you not just paused and looked at us like, oh fuck, did I say that?
I did. Fill the holes
I think
in my
if you just
memory, please.
I think if you just
the
carried
holes in my
on,
memory.
Meg and I would have just gone,
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah, but it was the look, the stricken look
It
on
was
my
the
face.
pause and the stricken look on your face that did
Yes.
it for me. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway,
I love recording with you too.
yes, but he's speaking Old Tongue long before he ever goes through any redstone door frame. So
Yes, this
again,
is
like
true.
with the blood of Manetheren running through his veins and like making him be able to understand and speak the Old Tongue, and that he can understand the Old Tongue the first time he goes through the redstone door frame because he doesn't have a translator. So I just think, I don't know, like why is Rand crazy but Matt's not?
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
The man, I hope
I can't
like
hear
the-
anything you're saying because I can't not hear.
Please fill my holes.
I don't know anything you just said. Which also takes me to an episode 204. Where does the third one go now?
Oh my
There we
god,
go.
of course! Yeah. We have not talked about Lan at all. The whole dynamic
No.
in the village with them. Like, I still, every time I watch it now, I don't have quite the visceral reaction that the innkeeper seems to have about it. But Lan peeing on a tree seems so unnecessary.
Okay, I totally agree. That totally took me out of everything. I
mind
was just
it.
like, it
Don't mind it
just
at all.
felt icky
I-
and no.
No,
like,
I'm not here like I don't watch that and think, well, now I'm like really just thrown out of the world of the television show. It just felt so unlike
unnecessary.
unnecessary. Yeah, like they're not camping in the rural wilds. They're not in between
Right.
places. I'm sure there's some form of latrine at that property. Like
Mhm.
they don't just go somewhere in the woods randomly each
Right.
time.
Why
like-
not? I don't know. I feel like
Yes, we know you and your short just whipped it out in the bathroom.
That wasn't it. It's a short film that I did, Rob. We'll just
No, we
cut
talked
this.
about it once.
We've talked.
Oh,
about
we
this,
did cut
don't
this,
worry.
but we did
Yes,
talk about
yes.
this. Anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like books and movies don't spend enough time explaining where people go to the bathroom, especially if it's like a magical world or something. Like they just like
It doesn't
thank God for
exist.
Moaning Myrtle is all I have to say, and we understand that there is a bathroom in Hogwarts. But I'm just saying, I think that I don't mind it at all. And I also think that the point of it is to say I can't even go take a pee by myself without one of you looking after me because you're worried I'm going to kill myself. And I
That
think
sounds like a
that's
mom problem.
That's true, but also, he doesn't wash his hands.
Yeah.
And that doesn't strike me as something Lan would do. I feel like he would be like, he's a clean guy.
he's
you
a clean
know?
guy, but he's also like, a murder
It's
might show up in a
medieval
minute.
times.
If I have to
Yeah.
wash my hand before I can touch my hair and mark sword, then I might just die out
He
here
doesn't
in the
have a
blight.
Heron Mark sword.
I know. It is
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
equivalent of a hair
I've got
mark blade.
zero issue with people going to the bathroom. I don't have any issue with that. It's just like they're in like a teeny tiny village.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
why
it
wouldn't he
just-
go in the house?
Yeah, why would he not go in the house?
Or is
finding
it
the
meant to show Alana's lack of boundaries?
Yes, I think
mean,
that
it could
too.
also show that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that is part of it
I mean,
too.
because
And that she's
that
going to
also
dispense
sets us
with all
up
that.
to.
Like I said, I
her-
didn't watch it and was just like, oh my god, this has totally ruined the show for me. I was just like,
No, it does.
I just
feel...
felt a little out of sync for
Yeah.
where they
Mhm.
were and who was doing it.
Yeah.
Enough that
Mhm.
it was noticeable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Like if
but
if someone else had been peeing on a tree, if Matt had been peeing on a tree, you wouldn't have batted an eyelash.
Probably, yeah. To be
Feels
honest,
like not Lan, but
yeah,
but yeah.
especially if it was like him and Min on their way to before they got to that part that
Mhm.
the inn they ended up in. If they were
And he's like,
stopped
"Hang on,
somewhere,
then I gotta stop off."
yeah, like or if
Okay,
they were just stopped
also,
like to water the horses, and he's like, "I'm gonna go take a leak," and there he goes, pees on a
I'm,
tree.
I,
Like
you
it
water
would
the
have kind of
horses, I'll water the
why a
tree.
tree?
Yeah.
Why a tree? Why not just on the grass?
No, that's normal. People
I
don't
know,
just
but no, that is a biological thing. Why a tree?
No, okay, so I know what this is, okay? Because although you might be 3 with like I can't believe we've got into this sort of discussion right now. I'm just taking a moment to acknowledge.
As a
where
woman,
we've
I
gone.
don't understand.
acknowledge where we've gone.
This is
Yes.
okay for a guy. All right, when
Uh-huh.
you're again, I can't believe this is happening. All right, at least right. I'm not speaking for every single guy in the world, so let's just be clear about that.
Of course
firstly.
not.
All right, but you need like an element of privacy. It's that's the idea behind it. If you're just
Okay.
going to pee casually out there, it's like, well, what if someone's out there and then they can see? And on
Mhm.
top of that, wind. Never piss into the wind, okay? Because if it blows back on you, it just goes everywhere. It's horrible. And the tree gives you, that. So A, it gives you a little bit of privacy,
Mhm.
and B, it gives you
It's a wind
protection
block.
from a possible wind blowing
I
straight towards you.
genuinely didn't know that,
Yeah.
and thank you for the education.
You're most welcome. So
We are, if
Yeah.
nothing else, an educating podcast.
So if you want to be out there camping and you're like, I'm gonna get the shiwi out, like have some sort of wind blockage, and go have fun. Go for it. So there we are. But I think I really appreciated the land scene with
Yvonne.
Alana, because
Oh.
they talk about how one day Moraine changed from being
Mm-hmm.
this way to that way, like water changes to ice type thing. And I don't know, like I had made the connection and I hadn't that she changed that made sense, but when I watched it today, I realized straight away it was this specific moment of when she got the viewing from Guitarra.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I understood because she was like, it was like a year or two before she bonded you, and it just sort of popped into my head, and I was like, oh, I can actually pinpoint the exact day.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And moment.
Moment, yeah,
Yeah.
and it made that speech from Alana really powerful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that aspect of it when I and that was one that like I got it in the instant. Like I was like, oh, it's the moment that she got the viewing, because we see her with Swan like happy and sweet
And
right before
207.
that, and they're going to go home. But
Yeah.
the next thing that she says then is, he says, was she happy before that? And she says, I don't know if Maureen has ever been happy. And we flash to Kyrian and her
child
life growing up
Mhm.
as a Damodred, like head of oldest sister, and I was like, yeah, she's had a traumatic upbringing.
She wasn't happy until she met Suwan, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Guitarra stole that away. Well, the pattern stole it away.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
but
But yeah. It did
Damn.
get harder. Yeah.
sad,
Mhm.
Very sad. But a good couple episodes. I really do like
Yeah.
them.
really
Yeah.
good. So much, they packed so much in, and I think our podcast is evidence of that, because we were like, oh yeah, and because
Mhm.
there was all of this backstory that was revealed as we went, all of these expositionary things that we need to know
Mhm.
about what happens when a bond is severed. Like just so much information packed into
Mhm.
this, and
Yeah.
the reveal of the most dangerous Forsaken of all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not much.
Like I say, we didn't even talk in detail about the water bond, but a lot of that's explored with the whole Alana, Ivan, Maxim. Sort of
Ivan
stuff.
laughing, the setup for Moraine saying you were never my equal, and
Mhm.
his lovely reaction to it, which is absolutely valid and real. But even
Ivan's?
then, I was like, I like that take on it, but I still think that she means that you're more than
Right.
me. And then,
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway.
And Maxim explaining, like how have you ever known a marriage that's exactly like another marriage?
Right.
Mhm.
Like no, of
Mhm.
course not. So why is the water bond of an Aes Sedai the same as another water's bond of their Aes Sedai,
Yeah.
even if it's the same Aes Sedai for the two waters?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
the relationship dynamics and stuff being so
Yeah.
easily or so beautifully explained.
Mhm.
It was great. Like we could go into detail about that so much. I love those moments.
Mhm.
But we're at hour and a half. I think
Yeah.
we could probably cap it. Also, I know we went pretty left of center with the whole peeing discussion, but I now really really love this multiple color Aes Sedai thing that we came up with earlier. I really love that.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Meg was really just throwing shade initially about it, and it's still kind of like
The
twisting
face.
her mouth a little
There's
bit
the
right
face
now.
again. Oh my god.
Yep.
Her
There is the
her
face
resting
again.
bitch face is like iconic.
It's very good.
I have to
This is
keep
true.
it tight for school. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just teacher face.
Mhm.
Okay.
Teacher face.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That
Yep.
makes sense.
Because I'm not allowed to say stuff, but I can give a
No.
look.
Right. Yeah, you're that classic
It's David Rose, all of his faces that he makes that I make
Yeah.
throughout the day.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is
Mhm.
David Rose. That's true. Yeah, and
Yes.
it's like those memes are real like me when I don't say anything, like when I think I'm really hiding everything I'm thinking when my face
Mhm.
actually explains everything I'm
I'll-
thinking type thing.
I
Yeah.
have those come across my feed all the time of all the teacher faces I make throughout the day. Next time I see one, I'll send one to you, Rob.
Yes,
because
Nice.
it's
please do. I love
100% true.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
Well, thank you for joining us live, Beth, who's in chat.
Yay.
Yay! I
This is fun.
know. Yeah, it's been great. Riverside is great for us to record in. It's a smidge harder for people to get and listen, so I will be tinkering with hopefully getting it to stream into Discord as well. So we'll keep tinkering with that. But thank you for that, folks. If you're listening, please rate the podcast. We love those 5-star reviews wherever you listen. Because we want other people to find us.
Mhm.
I want to give a shout out to Zool. Because she's been giving us great feedback on the
Mhm.
episodes.
Yeah.
And Zool also, I changed some of the audio settings last time in the editing process. I went hunting. I spent a lot of time. I found new settings and different settings, and I tried them out. And I think I got a great balance. And I asked Zool to review, and she gave us a pretty rave review for the balance
Great.
and the crispness and all those sorts of things. So shout out to Zool for that. Appreciate that.
She is
that
the
help and
best.
feedback.
Can we just say that? She is the
Zool
best. I love her.
Rules.
We love you, Zool.
Yes.
Yeah, Zool rules.
We love you, Zool.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, share us around, folks. Review and rate the podcast, folks. Share us with all your friends. Season 3 is coming out in at time of recording 54 days away.
Woo, woo, woo.
And at that point, we are going to challenge ourselves to do a recording every week, which is going to be really difficult for the drop because I'm still expecting 3 episodes on the first week.
Well, I mean, that's what IMDb is saying. So
Yeah.
remember, I'm
Which I
taking
hate
off
that.
the next
I
day
hate
of
it.
work. I still got to put it in, but I'm putting it in for a personal day to take the next day
On
off
the
work.
Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's a theory. I say we're going to end the episode. We do this almost every single time. I have heard that like a Reacher and other modern, but don't look at me like I've heard something official. This is not okay. This is people talking about the release of other big shows. So the
Megan's
last
eyes got
season,
really big.
yeah, they got really big, folks. The last season, I'll show you the actually really cool stuff after we stop recording. Their eyes got even bigger. And I'm really hearing the echo now, so I really hope that doesn't cover in the recording. But Reacher and like a couple other shows like that on their last ones that they released, they didn't release them at like midnight UK time, hence 7 p.m. Eastern. So, where they were coming out, quote, on the Friday for in the UK, and then it would be Thursday night in America. Now it looks like they've been releasing them, so it's like midnight Pacific.
So that'd be 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Eastern.
for you,
Eastern.
Meg.
Okay, and the
Well,
date
I'm definitely taking off Friday. So
Well, here's the thing: the date of release, the March 13th, is a Thursday.
It is
So
a
if it's
Thursday, and I was wondering why they said Thursday, why they said the
Yeah.
13th.
So,
So if
should I
it's-
be taking off Thursday instead of
I
Friday?
think there's a current thing I've been debating with a few people that it might be coming out midnight midnight Pacific on the 13th, which would mean 3 a.m. on Thursday the 13th in the morning, and for me 8 a.m. Which, let's be honest, really screws up a lot of people's plans for live
Yeah.
streams.
Prime Video, you need to give us a specific time so that I
Mhm.
can plan accordingly. Cause yeah,
I wondered when they said it as March 13th. I was like, well, I like the third symbolism of 13, but I was like, did they do that because that was announced in South America, and which is this time's I was like trying to figure out did they say that because that's when it's going to come there.
Yeah,
that's where they announced
Reacher
it.
dropped,
I
and
don't
it
know.
was like 8 a.m. here in the UK on the day it dropped.
Huh.
Apparently,
Interesting.
the last season of Reacher. So
why are we being so mysterious about it? Like,
I mean, I'm going to be honest. It would be nice not to have to do my live stream reactions at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, that would be
Right.
nice.
don't you,
you know?
want, like, doesn't it look good for the numbers when, like, everybody watches and, like, the second it drops? Like, don't you think you would want
Because
to,
also
like,
midnight
tell people? So,
Midnight Pacific
like,
doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't. You're not going to get numbers at that. Like people aren't going to. Only diehard fans.
The
are
only
gonna stay
thing
up
that
at
makes
midnight.
sense to me is they're doing it so they can say, because they used for season 1 and 2, they were like, here's the release date, but it was the release date for the UK eastwards,
Right.
mhm.
but actually the release date for
It's always the day before.
before was always for America and South
Right.
America
Well,
in
yeah.
essence.
Is it 11?
We're the only
is-
ones that
is
matter,
the day before.
clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, but is it 11:59 on Thursday night? Like, is it 11:59 on Thursday night, or is it 12 a.m. on Thursday? If it's Pacific time,
Yeah, that's a good point, because then otherwise
like-
it's out Friday morning, but it's
Yeah.
still, if they do it so it's a midnight-ish release for Pacific, whether
Mhm.
it's like midnight, like 12 a.m. or 11:59 p.m., which is like Thursday morning, Thursday night, regardless, it's still the middle of the night for America.
I
Yeah.
think I need to start another day one of asking Prime Video to tell me when the exact release time is, because
I am nudging people at every opportunity, and if
Yeah.
I do find out, I will share. But yeah, currently that was the previous pattern seen with some of their other big shows that released on their last season.
do you know how hard it is to plan as a teacher to be gone? It is very hard. We go when we're like deathly ill. So the fact that I'm willing to take off work for this, you need to tell me when it releases.
And I hope Amazon Prime is listening because she's not messing around.
No.
And by the way, Prime, we wouldn't say no to a sponsorship, just to let you know that.
Just,
Just even though it makes angry with you right now.
she's good when she's angry. She brings in
She-
numbers.
She
Good.
does. We love it.
Good.
So, all right. So yeah, folks. If you want to hit up and see what we get up to in the future, please follow us on the social media. You can find us on Blue Sky at threewheeling.nowkidtalks.com, or you can find us on on Instagram at 3.wheeling. Woo! And that's it, I think.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Amazing. Love that. Yeah. Can you tell we still haven't written a script for intros or outro? Well, the intro's kind of covered because we just
The
gush
intro's
over our
covered.
intro.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, we need to actually write that outro script. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, folks. Thank you for those that have joined us live. And yeah, we will see you next time. Bye.
Once again, we've proven that even when you're the third wheel,
You can always find a place to fit in
Join us next time
on Three Wheeling.
on three wheeling.
on Free Wheeling.